Hi all, welcome to another video. So this video is about some of the different safety equipment that I use in London and some of the accessories that I have on my bike to help me cycle a lot safer. I'm going to start with this mirror here. This is a proper e-bike mirror. I got this on Amazon. It was quite expensive. I think it was about £20, but it's specifically designed for e-bikes and riding, I guess, at slightly higher speeds, because obviously in London e-bikes, are regulated to a certain speed, but I think in places like the United States and Europe, you can actually, the e-bikes are allowed to go faster than that. So they make like these e-bike mirrors so they don't shake, and this mirror has been really fantastic. It's like I honestly couldn't cycle through London now without one of these mirrors on, because basically if you have a look there, you can see it sticks out. And before, if you look at some of my older videos, I had two mirrors here and there, but the problem with it is the mirrors were not coming out far enough. So when I'm cycling and my arm is here and there, I couldn't see. So this is why I went to a mirror that actually came out like a bar end mirror, like you get on motorbikes. And that way it gives me really good vision behind me, so I can see if there's something coming up behind me, or some car hasn't seen me and is going too quick. I can just pull over off the road. Or if somebody's sitting behind me and they're kind of like, I'm going too slow, and they're getting annoyed because I'm going too slow, I can just pull over as well. It's makes it a lot easier. And the other thing which is really good with these type of mirrors is basically you don't have to turn your head constantly. I used to ride just like a normal big bike, and you're hunched down over it and you're constantly turning your head, and then you kind of get like a sore neck. By the end of riding for like a week, I'd have like a really kind of sore neck, because I kept turning my head to see if something was behind me. I kept having to turn to see if there were, cars coming up, whether I could make a right or left-hand turn. But with this type of mirror just stuck here, basically all I got to do is just look in the mirror. I don't have to move my head, in a really, kind of difficult direction where it strains my neck all the time. So this has been really good. It needs a bit of a clean. I clean it every now and then, but works perfectly fine. And I just couldn't cycle through London without one of these types of mirrors. You can see, let me just, you can see how well it you can see behind the park there. You can see how well see the trees in the park and everything. And if you want to know this exact brand, if you want to buy this exact brand for your bike, I've done a video on that on my YouTube channel, so just check out, I think it's something like e-bike mirror. So just look at my channel and look, type in the word mirror and it should come up. The only thing you've got to do with this is cut a hole. Like I had to cut a hole basically there, which I was a little bit hesitant. That's why I didn't buy one of these mirrors, because I thought, it's going to destroy my my grip here. But in the end I thought, I'm just going to do it. So I just got a Stanley knife and I just cut that there, just cut it round and then pushed it on, and that's it. And I've never had any trouble. It's if you fall over, it can move like that, but it's really strong. You can see, you can move the bike with it, and that's why it's made for, e-bike, so it doesn't shake. Because when you get one of those cheaper mirrors and the mirror starts shaking, then everything is blurry because you've got so much shaking. But that is you can easily see behind you the cars really clearly. One of the things I always cycle with is a light. You can see my lights here. I've turned it this way, but you can just turn it around. I don't bother, I've just turned it, I had it sideways just because it makes it a little bit smaller. I've had this light since I was doing Uber. I used to do Uber deliveries on a bike, during the pandemic because there was no other work. I've had that light since then. I need to get a new one. This one works fine. The battery's still okay on it. I think the battery's not working as well as when I got it. But to be honest, I don't use it that much. I only use it more in the winter months. And it was about 30 quid I paid for that, so I don't really want to get a new one. The only problem with this one is it's got the old USB type charging. What do they call that? So you can see, I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up, but it's the older type before the USB-C charging, which is a bit annoying. But what I've got here, you can see this is wrapped around here, but this is USB charger here, and this plugs, can't see where the end of it is. Basically this will plug straight into here, so I can charge that light while I'm cycling off the main battery. So it's always good to have a light, especially, you know, because I finish work like 4, time I get like away 4:30, so it's, you know, in October it's already starting to get a bit dark, and then when I ride along the canals a lot, and the canals are always dark, so it's always good to have a light on your bike for that type of thing. Obviously I got the backlight here, which is good. And I bought this little cycling bag here. It was really difficult. If you watch another one of my videos, you'll see how difficult it was for me to find a bag that will fit on a small bike, because check out my video on bags. You can see this here is really only about 8 inches. You know, it's just way too small to try and put, and you got your battery here, so then you're trying to get like a bag that sits on 8 inches, which is just really difficult. I honestly couldn't find one. I looked on Amazon for like a few days. There just wasn't any type of bag that I could find that would sit there apart from a saddle bag. I did buy a couple and I just returned them because they were just like no use. So check out my video on bags. And then I got this one. I've had no problems with it at all. It's waterproof, the zip works. Don't know if it's like a name branded one or anything, or is it just like if there's like, you know, I don't think it's any like famous brand, but honestly I don't really do much. I carry my, you know, I got a few tools in there to repair the bike, and I've got a bike pump which has like saved me quite a lot. Just a small portable bike pump. Let me just show you. So this is the bike pump I've got. I think it's Chris Broadman. I think he's like the cyclist, and he released like some cycling gear. I bought this years and years ago. Probably bought this like 6 years ago, this pump, and I just keep it in my bag, and it's been fantastic. You can see it's only about 8 inches long, 6-7 inches long maybe, and it fits into my bag really easy, and I've had no problems with it at all. It hasn't like you know, the rubber on the inside hasn't perished, and then the pump doesn't work, so that's been really good. I didn't bring I always ride with a pair of cycling goggles. Actually, I didn't bring them with me, but if you check out one of my other videos you'll find that. And I always use a helmet. A lot of people don't cycle with helmets in London. I think you probably should really, but you know, a lot of people ride Lime bikes or those forest bikes, and they just jump on them and ride them all over London without helmets. I guess most of the time those guys are only riding maybe a mile or half a mile, you know, because those things are quite expensive if you have to like rent them for a long ride. But I always cycle with a helmet, and I recently got a new helmet here. You can see I wanted some more lights in winter, so when I'm kind of cycling in darker days, I wanted a light. And this one actually, let me just show you here, just so you can see it flashes, and it's got different things. So I always just have it flashing, and it's got like a light on the front. Light on the front doesn't really do much. It's not like it will really, you know, if you're cycling in the dark, it shows you, you know, you can use it for cycling in the dark. It won't, you know, light up the path in front of you or anything. But I think it's just meant to, if people see you, you know, if they're coming oncoming cars and they can see you there, they can see the actual light. It doesn't flash or anything. It's just a constant one. It's not like the backlight or anything like that. So, and this is good. This kind of fits right down. You can see here on this, it comes, your ear comes here. So this kind of covers the back of you as well, and fits quite well. If anybody's interested, post a comment, and if I see the comment, I'll put a link in the description for you, the Amazon link in the description. These things are quite expensive. Like, to find a cycle helmet with lights on them, it was a little bit difficult. I think this one off the top of my head was about £30, but you know, I looked at some of them, they're like over 100 or maybe £200 for a cycle helmet, which to me is just ridiculous, you know. Maybe they work better, maybe they protect your head better, but I can't justify the money of spending £200 on a cycle helmet. It's just too much for me. But I bought this and it's been really, really good. No problems with it. USB-C charging. I can ride it about 2 or 3 times. It's supposed to, I think, work for 8 hours. I don't think it works for 8 hours. I think it said it was going to work for 8 hours, but I can remember when I got it, I thought, oh, it's going to work the whole week. It doesn't. It only lasts me about 2 or 3, two, maybe 3. So maybe it lasts about 6 hours, because I ride this bike for an hour each way. So if I ride it for 3 days, it's going to be six hours. So maybe it might get close to the 8 hours claimed, but I think it's a little bit short. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not worried if the helmet, you know, if the battery doesn't last exactly what they say. And the other thing is, if you guys remember, I use these I use winter gloves in winter, but I use cycle gloves with protectors and that, and you can see they've got protection there if you fall off. I had a really nice pair. I had them for exactly 1 year, and then it was the middle of summer, and I put them on the back of my bike exactly like that, and then I rode off. I forgot to put them on, and one of them was there. It fell down here and got trapped, but the other one got lost. So I had to go out and buy a brand new pair. They weren't expensive, £8 for those, and they're kind of like light for cycling. In summer, you know, even in really hot summer days, like 30 degrees, 35 degrees when it was really hot, you can still cycle in these without any problems at all. You got the wind on you, and they kind of, you can see you've got little air mesh things, so the air vents there can go in, kind of keep your fingers cool a little bit. But they're light gloves, so they're not like really winter. You can't cycle in November, December with these gloves. They're just not thick enough. Your hands like really freeze. You need proper winter gloves, and even with proper winter gloves on this, I can't really cycle. You know, if I cycle for like 1 hour in the middle of winter on this bike, even with proper thick like leather winter gloves, my hands are absolutely frozen. So that's all the safety equipment. Like I said, I have a pair of kind of big, like almost ski-like goggles. I've shown them before in videos. They really help. I find like I saw one other person this year cycling with goggles like that, and I looked at them and I thought, okay, this guy cycles a long way as well, because they kind of like really protect your eyes, not just from the sun, but all the stuff that can flick up off the ground. And as you know, I cycle along the canal, so there's always like branches hanging down. And I've seen guys like cycle and then get hit with a branch, and they had like no eye protection. So they make a really big deal. You look kind of stupid in them, and every now and then people always look at you because you're wearing like you're wearing like ski goggles in the middle of summer, which is like ridiculous, but they really help you, help protect you and protect your eyes, and they stop the glare and everything, so those are quite good. Anyway, that's all my safety equipment. I do have like a big thick high-vis vest that I wear in winter. I'm not going to show it you because it's the middle of summer, but it's basically just like one of those jackets that workmen wear. You see people outside working, in gardens or something, or on the street, and they wear these big thick high vises, and that's what I wear. And I do have one other thing, which I didn't bring them down. I cycle with like elbow pads, so they're just like elbow pads that you would use for skating and that. To me, I'm going to give you my top tip, and I was actually chatting to a guy who rides a motorcycle at my work, and we both agreed on this. Elbow pads are a must. 99% people do not cycle with elbow pads, but if you fall over, your elbow is like, super vulnerable. And happened to me, it's the only accident I've had. I had black ice, front wheel, I locked the front wheel up because the back wheel wasn't working, and I slid out, busted my elbow. It took me honestly about 3 months to recover, and after that I never cycle without elbow pads. If I'm going any distance, like more than a mile, I put them straight on. Like I said, most people, I guess if you're watching this video, most people don't have this kind of level of protection on their bikes. If you see the people riding Lime bikes, they just jump on them in flip-flops or whatever clothes they're wearing because they're just going there. But I cycle 125 miles a week on this bike, so for me, having some good safety gear to help protect me from the wind and the elements, and if anything did happen to me, it's really worth my while buying that. And once you've got it forever. The things like the mirror, the light I've had for 6 years, the mirror I've had for at least a year to 2 years now. The bag has lasted me. I've had no problems with the zip. The helmet is fine, and if I didn't lose my original gloves, I would still have those gloves. And you can even see my lock here, right? I've got this big thick lock here, which I never take off, but you can see how many, I've done 6,500 miles on this bike, and you can see this is starting to wear. Obviously it's got solid steel, hardened steel underneath. It's On Guard Brute, but you can see it's wearing down a bit. So anyway, that's all I want to say about the cycle stuff. And I just did a video on 6,500 miles on my bike. I've done 6,500 miles riding this bike through London and different places. Check that out if you want to see if anything's broken on my bike or what I've had to repair and the maintenance that I do. And I'm going to do a video on tires now with this bike, so check that out as well if you want to know about e-bike tires. I've learned a few things about tires actually, so I'm going to pass that knowledge on to you with what I've learned as well. But as usual, if you guys are members of the channel, that's fantastic. If you're not members of the channel, it would really help you, it would really help me if you would like and subscribe. And I'm off to Spain next week, so I'm going to do some videos on that as well. And thanks for watching, and I hope you've learned something. I hope this has helped you. Maybe if you want to buy some cycle equipment that might kind of help you when you cycle through London or cycle anywhere in the world. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.